Hi guys, welcome to Life in Student Ministry video episode for this week. I have something really cool and unique that we're going to be doing here. I am with Jake, which you see in the upper corner here along with me, and then Joe below me. You guys just introduce yourself. Jake, you go first, and just kind of say where you guys are from and what you do.
My name is Jake Boma. I'm a youth director in West Des Moines, Iowa. I work at St. Mark Lutheran Church. I'm in charge of high school ministry and confirmation ministry here. I blog at jakeboma.com, B-O-U-M-A. Been doing that for a few years now, and I'm about a year and a half into a full-time gig here at St. Mark. So,
cool. And Joe, where are you at?
I'm from Terre Haute, Indiana, southwest of the airport. I've been in student ministry for over 13 years and work with students exclusively, both 5th grade through high school.
Cool. And I'm Tim Schmoyer. I live in Minnesota and work with kids also. Joe has a pretty good topic to talk about. Joe, I'll let you introduce it and just kind of tell us a little bit about why it's important, and then I have some input, and I'm sure Jake does as well.
I've been in student ministry for over 13 years and got introduced to the computer and online stuff in the late 90s. And so I just recently, in the last 2 years, got some internet accountability and just really stressing the importance of the accountability. There are some free ones you can get online. There are some ones you can pay for. I got on the x3church.com website where there's some free software you can download, put it on your computer. You can get up to 2, I believe, accountability partners, and every 2 weeks or once a month, I think it's their choice or your choice, they will get an email that will flag anything that was inappropriate that you might have visited. And so it takes away any temptation for myself of looking at something that might be inappropriate. Also, hopefully it is a testimony to my church and my students that I have it. I have nothing to fear, no files to hide. Anyone's more than welcome to look through my files on my MacBook. And hopefully it's also a testimony to my wife that there's no worries of her that is he looking at internet pornography.
Yeah, I mean, we could go into all the different dangers of internet porn and I mean, not just from a ministry perspective, but also on a personal level and, you know, relationship with people and view of women and all that stuff. Jake, do you use anything like that or no?
at our church, no, we don't use anything at our church. We have a really small staff and a poor network here that I Leach Wireless here, so we don't really use a connected system as far as getting things on the same page there. And I'm the only one here that uses a Mac.
Okay.
And the church that I worked at previously, I don't think had anything like that either.
Yeah.
It's not that I wouldn't. It's just that it hasn't been brought up, and it's not exactly in the budget, as far as I know.
Right. Yeah. Well, I use Covenant at covenanteyes.com, and I have that on all my computers, both here at home and at the church and everywhere. And it kind of works the same way as Joe, what you were saying, as the Triple X Churches program, in that you have a couple accountability partners, and every week it just kind of logs out all your internet activity and sends them a login of where you've been and how long you've been there, and just kind of highlights maybe some of the questionable sites. And if there's something in there, then my partners email me back and be like, Tim, what are you doing? I was like, well, that was my wife, not me, look. But it's been really helpful. We actually, that was required of when I was in seminary in a small group. They're like, it's so important for ministers to have this stuff under control, that whether if something you feel like you struggle with or not, you're required to have it. And the Covenant Eyes is cheap; it's like $8 a month or something like that. So it's totally worth the investment. Joe, was it kind of hard for you to go to some guys and be like, hey, I'd like to set up this accountability. Would you mind being a partner for me on this? Or how did you approach that whole thing?
I think when I was first introduced to it, I'm what's called a district youth president in the Westland Church, and our director of the spiritual formation department encouraged that each of the DYPs, district youth presidents, would have some type of accountability software. And if we
Uh-huh.
weren't willing to do so, then what was the reason, and would there be something we're trying to hide? So I immediately got it and chose him as one of my two accountability partners, and actually have a computer in the youth room as well. And when I got my MacBook back in April, then I set up another account. And one of the females that's the district assistant youth president in our district area, I had her be one of my accountability partners. So I have a level at the district, a level in my own church, and a level in our denomination. So I have 3 tiers of accountability. And by
Cool.
doing it with her, then the encouragement was that other youth pastors in our district, which is kind of small, they would see that we are doing it, and maybe they might do it as well.
Yeah. Jake, what would you say to the youth worker who is thinking about doing this and would like to maybe set up some online accountability but isn't quite sure how to go about it, or has got that fear like, well, if I talk to somebody about it, they're automatically going to assume I'm doing it? You know, like when kids don't want to talk to their parents about sex because they feel like you bring it up, everyone automatically assumes, or they feel that way that they're doing it.
Right.
What advice would you give to that youth worker?
I would say that probably the most important thing would be to talk to someone that you know and trust. For me, I can think of 1 or 2 people right away here in at my church that I would be able to approach and sit down and have a serious conversation with about something like that. I mean, at some level, there's always going to be some level of awkwardness just because of the kind of the social forces that are in play there. But just to sit down with someone that you know, someone that you trust, have that conversation with. But just to play devil's advocate here, and not that I don't support, I think it's really cool. But in terms of, if you think of it, for someone who is addicted, like if you treat it like an addiction to a drug, what other ways? So I install Covenant Eyes on all of my computers and all that stuff. What other ways do you have face-to-face encounters with people where you say, have you been to the video store recently, or have you done this, or have you picked up a magazine at a gas station, or things that aren't online? How do you keep those things accountable as well?
Yeah, I'll let you answer that, Joe.
That's an area that there probably isn't accountability for, and I guess that's up to each individual to choose those levels of accountability. I just had a student come in today and pray to receive salvation who half-heartedly has accepted Christ and decided today he wanted to do it wholeheartedly. And he said, I've been living a lie, I've been a fake, and I've tricked everyone, and I've been very good at doing it. And so really, even in the accountability through magazines and what you're watching on television and video, you can easily trick people, but it just has to come down to finding someone who knows you better than anyone else, who can read you and tell when you're not telling the full truth.
Right.
Thanks, Pastor Joe and Jake Boma, for recording that with me. You guys can check out their websites. They're right here below where I'm talking. And I'm going to give away the free resource real quick before we run out of time. This is kind of going along the same topic. It's called Feeding Your Forgotten Soul. Ooh, really shiny there. Feeding Your Forgotten Soul. How to maintain the spiritual health, develop your inner life, and guard against moral failure. And it's kind of talking about the same question, spiritual growth and health. And it's so valuable and it's so difficult. Why does it seem so difficult even though it's so essential to guard against moral failure? So this is written by a guy who's been in youth ministry for decades. And so just as always, if this is a book that you could use personally and you could benefit from reading this, be the first person to comment here below at timschwinger.com. I'm just giving away all this stuff for free. So thanks to teenlifeministries.com. They're providing the shipping for you and everything. So you can get this absolutely free. Comment below. It's yours. Thanks for joining me this week. I'll see you guys again next time.